Mom wanted a closed casket.
I know.
And why is it open? You're the person who made these funeral arrangements. You chose the casket, arranged for the church service, wrote the eulogy, planned the reception. This open casket isn't what you wanted.
I know. But we have to think of the out-of-town family here today and the friends that she hasn't seen in years. They want to see her. That's why this is called a viewing, and this is the viewing room. Get it?
Sure, I get it, but why would anybody want to view her? I don't think that...
Tradition, Patty, tradition. People want to see the deceased. They need assurance. They want proof that she's really dead. Some people actually want to know what she looked like when she died.
Mom was 75 years old and sick. People she hasn't seen in a few years might want to remember her as she was.
Viewing the deceased is a universal human need, little sister. Her friends, her family, they want to know that it's really her in the casket and not some random stranger. Trust me, I've been through this a few times before with my sister-in-law, our grandfather. You've never had to attend to the details of a funeral, ever. Ever.
Mom was so adamant about a closed casket, so sure about what she wanted us to do.
She never told me, never wrote it down, never made us promise anything. Trust me, little sister. I've been through this a few times before. Well, let's just reorganize these flowers. That bench over there on the floor, let's put that on that table over there, and I'll put these red ones over here closer to the casket.
We all talked about it, all of us, years ago. There was a whole bunch of us up at the cottage up north, all women. Mom's friends who were in their 70s at the time, and our younger girlfriends. We were sitting on the screen porch after dinner, and somehow we all got on the subject of death, and funerals, and then our own deaths and our own funerals. We talked about whether we wanted to be buried or cremated or carted off to grisly medical schools, or whether we wanted to donate our eyes or our livers or our pancreases.
I have no memory of this discussion, this alleged conversation. I must not have been there.
You were there!
I wasn't there. I don't recall anything about funerals or any discussions about death.
You were there, and Mom said, I remember because we all laughed kind of nervously. Mom said she wanted a closed casket and a large, nicely framed photograph of herself, a flattering photograph, of course, nearby. She wanted the photo to be viewed. She did not want her dead body viewed. And she said she wanted her former lovers, yes, lovers was the term she used. She wanted her former lovers to sit in the very first row in front of her closed casket so that they could contemplate what might have been.
Was this alleged conversation, this discussion, before or after the divorce?
After.
And Mom said lovers?
Yep. She said, I want the lovers who dumped me, those who broke my heart and caused me great anguish. I want them to sit in the very first row in front of my closed casket. She wanted these guys up close. There, so that they could see what they missed out on. She wanted the guys that she broke up with, the ones that she dumped for whatever reason, to sit in the second row. There.
I don't recall Mom ever saying anything about lovers. I wonder how many lovers that would have been.
Do you think Mom ever had an affair while she was married to Dad?
Well, if she did, it would have been with Mr. Sinclair.
Mr. Sinclair! Harry Sinclair? No way, not Mom and Mr. Sinclair. Mr. Sinclair with the limp and the big bushy white mustache. No, why do you think that?
Oh, little sister, I remember things that happened in our family before you were born, before you were old enough to understand. And I have my suspicions. And by the way, Mr. Sinclair didn't always have a big bushy white mustache or a limp.
No way, not Mom and Harry Sinclair. I don't believe it.
And as for the lovers, well, she was in college in the 60s, and we've heard what that was like. Age of Aquarius, Woodstock, free love, drugs. Then there were a few years before Mom married Dad, and a few years again after the divorce. Oh, wake up, little sister. Mom was not locked up in a convent.
Okay, big sister, but just for the hell of it, because of the conversation I remember, let's reserve 2 rows of chairs right in front of the casket like she wanted. 2 rows of chairs for her former lovers. How many seats do you think we'll need? Mom was 75 at the time. How many men did she sleep with in 75 years? Was it 2, 5, 20, 75?
Oh, you are insane. This is crazy. You're out of your mind.
No, this isn't insane. It's what she wanted. And she wanted a closed casket. You were not listening when we talked about these things up north. She said she wanted to be buried in her favorite old faded jeans, a cashmere turtleneck, and Docksiders. No socks.
No, we can't do that. We can't bury Mom in that way. That's just not done that way.
Funerals should be done the way the funeral-ee, the person who died, wants them done. Look at her. Silk suit, ruffled blouse. She looks like she's going to a job interview. Maybe she is. I hope she is.
Well, we are not burying our mother in jeans and an old sweatshirt.
Her requests weren't that complicated, Annie. Casual clothing, a closed casket, and a reception with top-notch food, an open bar and dancing, whatever. She wanted laughter and joke-telling. It's not like she was asked to be laid to rest in a Bozo the Clown wig and fishnet stockings.
We are having a party. Good food, drinks, music, lunch. Oh, that reminds me. The club called. They want to know approximately what time the guests will start to arrive. What do you think I should tell them?
Noon. Depends on the church service and the eulogy. Just tell them noon.
I'll tell them 12:30. They also want to know approximately how many people to expect. Can we give them a ballpark figure? What do you think?
I don't know. About 100.
I'll tell them 150.
She hated funerals. And she wanted the casket lid closed so that little kids couldn't get dragged up close to look at her, to gape at a dead body. That's too scary for little kids. And she didn't want her friends gazing wistfully into the casket and sighing dramatically, saying things like, "She looked good."
Oh, grow up.
She said, "For God's sake, I won't look good. I'll be dead. I'll look terrible." That's why she wanted a closed casket.
I don't remember that.
That's because you never listen. You're so busy bossing everyone around, so busy telling us what you think and telling me what I should do. You never paid attention to her or to anyone else but yourself and your own opinions for that matter.
You never listened either. You were always too busy being an obnoxious, annoying brat. Backing the car out of the garage, breaking every single rule and regulation that you possibly could, skipping school, smoking. Oh, you were a pain in the ass, face it.
You were an even bigger pain in the ass. You always thought you were right. And face it, Annie, sometimes you were wrong. For God's sake, we've been fighting like this our whole lives. We argue about the same things over and over and over.
Well, that's what siblings do. Now that I think about it, this batch would go better back where it was, and we'll keep the daffodils here, put it over here, and we'll keep the daffodils closer to the casket. Daffodils always were her favorite.
Here we go again. When we were growing up, we fought a lot. Back then, we could go to Mom and, she would listen to both sides of the argument. She would consider both points of view and then hand down her decision like Judge Judy. Judge Mom, she was.
Well, face it, little sister. Mom's not here to settle this one today. Come on, the guests are gonna be arriving any time now. Casket stays open.
No, casket closed. Look at her hair, it's all wrong. Too flat on top and eyeshadow. Mom never wore eyeshadow.
Oh, get away from her.
I don't like her pose either. Hands folded across the stomach. Boring.
What kind of a pose would you suggest? Left hand on her hip and right arm draped over the casket, flashing a peace sign? Grow up! This is our funeral. This is our mother in a box, ready to be viewed and then buried. This is not some theatrical production with costumes, makeup, and props.
Down.
Open! Open!
Oh my God, we are insane.
Oh my God, Patty, I'm so sorry.
My dear Annie, my dear Patty, I'm so sorry.
Mr. Sinclair. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a shame. Beautiful woman, kind, great person. She always knew exactly who she was. Know thyself, that was her motto. I didn't know she was ailing. Did she suffer?
No, it was an easy passing.
We're just finishing up with a few details, Mr. Sinclair. Thank you so much for coming.
Such a beautiful woman, good mother, loyal friend. I love her.
Would you like to sit down, Mr. Sinclair?
Oh, yes, of course. She said, someone be sure to save a seat for me in the second row.